All right, so in this tutorial, basically what I'm going to do is produce the background artwork for a platforming game. So I'm just going to use Photoshop just because I think it's easiest. So I'm going to hit create new. And then what I'm going to do is 1920 by 1080 because that should be a monitor screen. I mean, it's hard because every monitor is different and stuff, but we consider that HD, so that should suffice. But what I'm going to do is, so normally 72 is the kind of accepted resolution of like a video, okay? It means it's 72 pixels per square inch. But I'm thinking it might make sense to go less than that. So obviously less than that would be 36 would be half of that. And then probably want to go maybe less. Well, let's do 36 and see what that looks like, because we're going to do the background. So I'm going to picture this being maybe a little bit higher res. So this way it's going to be a lower pixelated look, which means that these are going to be half of what they are as well. So this will be 540, 540, and this will be, let me see, I don't feel like doing math. Math is not my friend. So 1920 divided by 2 is 960. Okay. So 960 by 540. Okay. Which is obviously 69. So the rest of this is all fine. We'll hit create. Boom. All right. Control plus minus. All right. That's zooming it out. So we have this thing looking like this. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the layer here by clicking on this. I'm going to turn this stupid thing off because that's not useful in any way. In fact, actually, no, it's stuck to it. I just want to get you out of there. There we go. And we'll exit out of that. And then we'll stick this back in the corner here. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's pull this up. All right. So I got this background layer. It's white. We're going to get rid of it in a second, but it's nicer to have white behind it. So I'm going to make a new layer. We're basically going to this is going to be your typical kind of platformer. Now, the tool we want to use is the pencil tool. The reason being is this. So if I were to use the brush, which is your default, and let's say I just have a default brush here. Let me get much closer here. I'm also going to go to view, view and show, and we want to show, let's see, make sure show pixel grid is on. Okay. So that's good. Control plus plus. Now I'm not gonna be able to, let me turn this layer off and plus plus. There we go. Let me make it bigger because the screen's really small. See this little grid in here? I don't know if you can see it. Like each one of these represent a pixel. Okay. So if I use the brush, what you're gonna see is if I draw diagonally, it looks like this. If I use my pencil and I draw diagonally, it looks like this. The difference is this has anti-aliasing in it. Okay. So the idea is that when you look at it from far away, notice how this looks all jiggity-jaggedy. It's aliased, and this one does not. So the anti-aliasing kind of helps with that. But in our case, we actually want it to be, we want that look. We want that aesthetic. So we are looking to do that. So that's a-okay with me. All right. So I'm going to get closer and closer and closer and closer. Till basically you can just about see the pixels on your thing here, and then we just need to draw our ground space. So the easiest way for me to do this, I'm actually just going to go ahead and draw a box here. So I'm going to use this transparent pixel grid as a guide. So like this would be 1 square, right? So then that'd be 2 square, and then we'll do 3 square. Okay, so now I can kind of see it there. And I'm going to go ahead, click on the paint bucket tool, click on this, and I'm going to choose like a brownish color, hit OK, and I'm painting there. All right, so I just paint inside the box. That way it will only let me paint on the inside. Now the top I want to be green. So I'm going to use my marquee tool again, click and drag, and we'll say roughly the top third, right? So it's 3, so the top third I will make green. Click on my paint bucket, click on this, choose a green color that is, acceptable, and bam. Now it'll only color what I have selected, and only, it'll be broken up by the thing. So that's why I did it like that. Next thing I want to do is I want to adjust this up and down. So I'm just going to manually do it, I guess. So let's just take my pencil tool again. So I'll hit B for the pencil tool, and the bracket keys, which are the two to the right of the P key, that makes your brush bigger or smaller. So we'll go down to 1, and I'm just going to kind of, draw a pattern, if you will. So just, I don't know, whatever kind of works for you. Just make sure that the ends both match up, okay? So you can get more fancy with it, or you can just, you know, whatever. So I'm going to say that that's acceptable. I'm okay with that. Now what I want to do is, and you could probably go with that, and then you could just manually paint. So I could take this, and then maybe we'll even do that. So I'm going to take this, go like a darker green, and I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to do it only on this side. All right, so you'll see it'll kind of like this. All right. All right. So if you do control minus, I don't know. I'm just kind of varying it up. And then maybe on the top I'll do the opposite and do kind of a lighter green. Okay. Maybe just on this very. So if I watch this, if I click here, hold Shift and click here, it'll actually draw a straight line across. So that works for me. Yeah, all right. But I do want to have some variance in here, so a real cheap, easy way of doing this. I'm going to click inside this bottom shape here and see how it went. I have the let's try the quick selection, see if this works better. So I'm going to use my bracket keys. I'm going to click Control D and click in here, and that's not doing that well. So I'm going to go back to my magic wand. If I take my tolerance, and let's say I do 1 and click in here, still went too far. Let's do 0. Let's do it more than I wanted. All right, let's hold Alt, and I'm just going to hold Alt and click all the darker areas. I'm surprised it's being so nitpicky here. So I'm just going to remove all the extra little green parts that I drew. I don't know why it's being junkety junk, but whatever. And good. Okay, so now I got just, oops, we need to add this. I'm holding Alt to remove and Shift to add, and we're going to call that good enough. I don't care. All right, so now I got this part. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a filter. Now, I could just manually paint it, just like I said, just use the brush tool. But I'm going to go to filter. I'm going to do noise. I'm going to add noise, okay? So you can see, and you can adjust the amount, which is okay. And I'm going to choose, I think by default it's like this. I'm going to choose Gaussian and monochromatic, like that. And you can see it's a bit, let's see, I can, it's okay. So I'm going to go something like that, right? And it's a little too much. But I'm going to do another filter. I'm just going to go filter, and we're going to do noise, and then we're going to do dust and scratches. And let's see, threshold, so like that. And that should be okay. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing on the top. So to only do things to the top, I'm just going to invert my selection. So I'm going to go select inverse. Or if I hit Control or Command Shift I, it'll have everything selected but this. And in this case, this is the only thing here since this is all clear. So I'm just going to filter, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do noise, and I'm going to add noise. And this time I'm going to do uniform and turn that off so there's a little more variance. Since it's grass, there might be more variance of color. And I'm just going to up it a little bit. Hit OK. Now, to fix this, I'm going to go to Filter, and we are going to pixelate, and we are going to, let's try crystallize. And yeah, I like the look of that. I don't know if you could see it here. Let's plus. It adds variation, but you know, within the realms of acceptable. Okay, now I'll do Control minus minus. Come on, Control minus minus, or Command minus minus. All right, so I got this grass looking thing. Looks acceptable. One of the things that I don't like about it is the it's just hard, and I want to round the outside edges here. So I'm just going to do it in a real rough way. I'm going to do this. We're going to select the outside, so I have everything but it selected. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Select, Modify, and we are going to smooth. And let's smooth. Let's see. Let's try, I don't know, 3 pixels and hit OK. And what it'll do is it'll round, you know what, we don't even have to do it this way, but it'll round out the corners there. And I'm going to select this, the marquee, and I'm going to hold Shift so that it adds to my selection. Oops. I'm going to hold Alt to remove from a selection. Boom. So now, just remove that, and if I delete, it'll round this top part here. So let's hit Control minus minus, and actually if I turn on the color here, you get a better idea. Okay, so let's do one more. until the pixel grid goes away. There you go. And now it rounded out the corners. You could also just manually, I don't know why I did it that way. I could have just used the eraser. Where are you, eraser? Right here. Just make sure if you use it that you use the hard eraser, or just take this soft value all the way to hard so it becomes hard edged, and then just manually erase out these corners. All right. So that looks like a thing. Control plus plus plus. So there we go. We got a bottom platform piece, and that is acceptable. Now I just need to cut it into 3 sections, so that is, you know, okay. So I'm just going to use my marquee tool, and I'm going to go here. So you can see I have this. This is a third of it because I'm just using these checkers as a guide, and I'll hit Control X and then Control V, which will make as a new layer here. I'm just going to plop it up here, and we'll just match it up there. All right, now I'm just going to go back to layer 1 again, and click and drag to here. Control X and Control V. Hit V again to do the select tool. And I'm just going to take it and stick it next to this one. And I'll take this bottom one and we'll stick it next to there. And so now you'll see I have these 3 pieces. And depending on how much I need in the future, I can take this and put it next to this one. You know what I mean? And make a longer one. And we could just repeat it, but you'll always need these 2 edge pieces. Okay, so that's the idea. Oops, and Shift C. All right. So, and again, it just looks like this, and that is a basic platform, if you will. So that looks pretty okay, and I'm going to rename this layer. We'll call it, actually, let me just double check. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we're going to call this Plat R for platform right. And let me just double check. Okay, and this is, double click on it. I'm just going to go Plat C for center. And this will be Plat L for left. I'm going to shift select all 3 of these, hit the little folder, and it's going to put them in this group, rename this group, and we're going to call it platform. Boom. There's one piece. Okay, so I just made this basic platform, and it's sort of a pixelated, but not super, it's like somewhere in between. Okay, so reminds me of like a braid kind of look. I don't know if you remember that game, but it's rough, but it should suffice for what it is. All right, we will stop it here, and then I will continue on to do the sky and other elements.